if tomorrow, there would be a world war or things would really get wrong in this world, what would be the industry that will still survive? It's good to have disagreements,
Yes.
but there's a very simple principle and policy that either you convince me or I convince you. I told the restaurant owner that give me £1 a day. I'll work hard. And one of the most valuable assets I have is that 64 pounds that I've earned from you. When I put my arms around you and I walk through Central Park, on the peak time when people used to come to Central Park, hundreds of people were saying, who's this guy with Johnny Rocket? That the amount of data that we have as a group because of our diversified businesses, like my father said, a small man from a small country was with big dreams. And we're blessed to be in this country.
So Nirvan, thank you for inviting me to Kathmandu first. It is such a pleasure to have you around speaking. And now the most exciting part for me was when I entered your office. I entered the building. It gave me a feeling of entering a billion-dollar house, somewhere where the global decisions are made. But when I enter your cabin and room, it's something else. So I want to know you a little more than what we know Nirvana Chaudhary as, the one who is in the early days, the youngest entrepreneur, one of the youngest to create a modern way of looking at leadership in South Asia. So thank you for coming to India podcast and allowing me to get into your journey a little bit my way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anku, for visiting Nepal.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful time of the year to visit. Our company, our headquarters, is definitely not something we have ever projected it to be a billion-dollar headquarters.
Yeah.
We still have a mindset of a startup. We still feel that our core values of our family and our group rests in the humility that we've all grown up with. So if you've got that projection of a billion-dollar headquarters, then we failed in that. We obviously consider ourselves as small team, small man, like my father says, a small man from a small country with big dreams. And we're blessed to be in this country.
No, actually, you're right. When I entered, the mindset it's a billion-dollar house, but you have maintained the simplicity. But what's the thing about your space? Your space is nowhere fitting into any startup or billionaire. It's just you.
Right.
So I see a lot of creativity, a lot of music, element, love, friends, so much of you. So before I begin into knowing Nirvana a little more, starting with how people know you, the YY, how close is that YY for you? And how many memories you have of having eaten YY in your life? Kitne packets आपने खोले हैं या you have yourself consumed so much?
So just to touch upon what you talked about, creativity. So it's very, very important. Let's say my father, visionary man, someone we all look up to, our mentor. He's got a particular vision which we are all aligned to. But every individual have their own way of getting there.
Yes.
As long as we are all aligning our goals and our vision, but we do not compromise on the way we get there. I guess everyone differs over there, but the vision is aligned. In my case, from a very, very early age, I did not really see myself as a businessman. I still don't see myself as a businessman. So having more passion towards art, music, creativity.
Right from your early days.
From very, very young days. And in fact, even my father, I don't know if you know much about him, he used to sing, produced an album, used to sing in the Radio Nepal over there, Radio Nepal. He produced a movie. And generally, he's been very creative in anything that he does. So I knew that one day it is expected that I would get into the family business. So I started working at a very, very early age. But I think what's helped me or what I feel is my biggest strength is channelizing that creativity into the business world. When you're able to channelize that energy of creativity, then you realize you're able to think differently in a particular challenge that's confronted upon. You're able to see things differently in terms of new opportunities that come before you. You're able to look at perspectives very differently. In my organization, my family, they always call me, they always know me as an eternal optimist. And that's something I don't want to change.
That is something you bought from your dad. He's a man of hope against hope. Is what I felt.
Being hopeful is good, but being an eternal optimist is very different. He's my father. I think one of the biggest things which I need to learn from him is he hopes for the best but prepares
Yes.
for the worst.
You just believe in the best.
I think to a large degree, I feel no matter what we are doing, no matter what we are pouring our efforts or our hard work into, only the best will come out of it. I always look at a scenario where, you know, things eventually will pan out well. Things eventually will go out well.
You remind me of two lines, man ka ho to acha, na ho to zyada acha. So as you say, eventually everything will be good. So eventually what will happen will be what is desired for. But vision, that's what you touched upon. There's a whole understanding, all the entrepreneurs who business karne wale generation, we don't get what is vision. Visionary. You said we'll all align to the vision, but we have our own way. Do you think you're a visionary? And what is this term? What do we understand? That can you see things? You planned the business. What is a visionary?
Well, vision is to me a particular thought process that comes in your mind, a particular in the foreseeable future, a scenario that you want to get into,
Okay.
which sometimes can be far-fetched, which sometimes can be a little bit more, um, might be more aggressive, might be more, is it achievable or not? But once you've sort of decided as a leader that that's where I want to achieve in the
Yes.
future, then the real work comes in of putting all the resources and your team together and having that foresight to
Achievable.
reach that vision, right? So I'll give you a small example, a small mantra that I at least follow for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember when I was very early on in my life, I think when I was in my early 20s, I read this book by Jack Welch called Straight from the Gut.
Okay.
Jack Welch is someone who transformed General Electric. At one point, it was one of the largest companies in the world. He had this one formula that I really stick by called 4 E's wrapped around 1 P.
Okay.
Right?
What is that for?
So the first E he talks about is energy.
Okay.
You need to have that fire in your belly, that determination, that vision,
Can be the hunger.
the hunger,
Yeah.
right? That energy. The second E is energize. So you alone having that energy is not important. You need to be able to put together a team
Yeah.
and be able to show them the same vision. Or you might have to have an open mind to even listening to them to recalibrate your vision to a better one. The third E is edge. And if you're doing something which anyone else is doing, then
So you have to be at the
you have
edge.
to have that differentiator,
The USP that we say.
right.
Yeah.
But the most importantly out of all of this is execute. I can dream of the next Facebook. I can say that, oh, you know what, when I was younger, I thought of Twitter or X or whatever. But did I go on to executing my dreams or my plans? No. All this 4E wrapped around 1P, that is passion, right? You need to really find out what you're passionate about.
So was your passion where you have been working so long?
Of course,
I mean,
my
this is something you
passion-
got from the generation carrying a legacy. I would want to come into that carrying legacy approach, but did you choose it or it happened that you had to take it up?
I definitely, while growing up, again, I was reading this book called The Godfather
Yeah.
by Mario Puzo. And at one point, I was obsessed, and I was pretty young that time. I was pretty upset that one day I'm going to be the Godfather,
Yeah.
right? But growing up, I used to be really more inclined towards art, music. I play music. I used to be a national level squash player.
Now you made it to
really-
pickleball.
I used to be more, really drawn into Formula One, etc. But business was
All
never
the
in the radar.
young guy approach of being, fast and furious was all there in you.
I wouldn't say Fast and Furious wasn't there, but these are things I really
Yes.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
I started finding my own niche and my own passion towards all of this. I started enjoying whenever I used to get behind a guitar or used to paint something or used to come up with new ideas, especially on the marketing side. Business, I have two younger brothers. I'm the oldest one.
Yeah.
So my father, while growing up, always told us that, apart from working honestly and hard work, whatever you guys decide to do in your life, just make sure you aim to be the best at it.
Okay.
But somewhere subtly, I didn't think that was really applicable to me at least. Rahul, my younger brother, he's a phenomenal footballer. he at one point wanted to play football for one of the UK clubs.
No.
You know, my youngest brother,
Varun.
Varun, very, very sharp, again, very, very talented in different spheres in life. He was really into cars, so maybe he thought he's going to get into Formula One, etc. So, I mean, maybe these are some things you grew up
Yeah.
exploring, but we are also coming from a business family. Right? So, for us, our dinner table discussions or our holidays in later part of your life is all about listening to business discussions. Like when I used to come back from holidays from the age of 12, I used to see my friends go out and play football, but I used to sit in my father's conference room and just observe and observe.
That was your choice.
Of course, because I knew if one day I had to get into this, it's better for me to start understanding this. Right? Even when I went to, we went to a boarding school at the age of 6.
Yeah.
But when I
At the
went
age
to,
of 6.
right. But when I went to the UK and I was studying around the best schools in the world, instead of coming back home on holidays, I used to be working in one of the biggest investment banks over there during the daytime, but I used to also be a waiter at night.
I have heard the story, especially in UK, that people go, they really have to, they lose all their issues of prestige and ego and go to really work around.
I don't think it's about prestige and ego. It's a necessity.
It is a necessity.
It's a lot of people who are going and doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs it's a necessity for a lot of people.
I mean, you could have chosen to just have a very flamboyant life, but
we were disciplined in a really good way right from the beginning, and the entire essence of being frugal was instilled in our
are you
minds.
serious? You are frugal?
I am frugal to such an extent where I understand the value of money, and that really came from my stint of working as a waiter in that restaurant. I told the restaurant owner that give me £1 a day. I'll work hard, during the evening shifts. And one of the most valuable assets I have is that £64 that I've earned from there, which has taught me
It
the
never
value
felt wrong for a moment. What am I doing?
Why is it wrong?
I don't know how you feel, because I've never been in your shoes of having that legacy and knowing that I've got the whole big company to lead from the front, but you chose to go and experience something which...
That was part of it for a particular objective, that even if I was working in an investment bank or a restaurant, you have an organization, you have input, output, you have customers on both the sides, you have processes to follow. So the industry might be different, but the business processes and the dynamics are very similar. So even when I was working in the investment bank, and these are some of the largest investment banks, one of my close friends' mother was one of the top investment bankers, and I said, just give me an internship opportunity. So don't pay me, but I want to just learn.
To learn. Yeah.
So she put me in, the mutual funds department of different portfolios. And at the end of a couple of months later, she said, here is $8 million. Let's see how you invest this. Now, this is not Yahoo money. This is real $8 million.
Yeah,
right?
oh God.
So, 15-year-old, naive boy, having just been exposed to the entire complicated different instruments in the capital market.
Yes.
I asked myself a question that if tomorrow, there would be a world war or famine or things would really get wrong in this world, what would be the industries that would still survive? So, first thing that came to my mind was food. No matter what happens, we're going to continue eating. So I invested 25% of the 8 million in Nestle.
Wow.
And
now you're a competitor though.
And even that time, but 25% of the money I put in Nokia. And this was in the year 1998.
Nokia, for people staying connected.
Right, Nokia mobile phones, right? In 98, when mobile phone boom just happened.
Yes.
So I said, this is going to continue.
Yes.
Although Nokia sort of didn't reinvent themselves in the future. And then I realized I'm coming from a country like Nepal, where there's so much of infrastructure that is required to be built, bridges, roads, power. I'm sure there must be some company doing work on that. So there's a company called Tyco. So I invested on that, 25%, and 25% on capital protected deposit. And 6 months later, the global capital market crashed. Markets were down by almost 45%. My boss's portfolio was down by 90%.
But did your portfolio
It
survive?
was up by about 20%, right? So,
The
but
sector picks were so nice, the bouquet.
no, that was not the point. The point was, even though she got the bonus, the biggest learning for me was the power of simplicity.
Okay.
You know, the power of just
Thinking
sometimes thinking
simply.
simply, simple thinking. Sometimes in our lives we complicate things with so much
We
of
try to think more intelligently and crack a thing. But
thinking intelligently is good, but sometimes the answers are so simple. You know, so if you are able to decode that and get into the mind of a 15-year-old naive boy, then most of the answers are right in front of you.
I think what I'm getting from you is you don't sound like a 15-year-old then, because this kind of mindset I don't see in youngsters even at 25. So you were born with that instinct or intellect to see things very differently. And this is what we start asking when we meet so many startup owners. You meet so many entrepreneurs. I think this visionary thing is something which is gifted out now, I've started feeling. It's what you work on. But coming back to you starting at
I don't think
19,
that's gifted at all.
it is not adapted.
I think it's something which you learn from the environment you grew up in, but it's something which if you put your mind to it, you gradually evolve and learn the process. You know, I'm a firm believer that if you are surrounded by right people, that even a Lata Mangeshkar tomorrow can be a Sachin Tendulkar.
Wow.
You know, you don't
It's
have,
a,
you do
it's
not
a
born of.
ecosystem, yeah.
It's the ecosystem, your mindset, the environment. Business schools, etc., can just teach you the basic fundamentals of business, but the real drive, the real result comes in your own ability to reach that.
So all three brothers, did you think that having the same exposure or similar, you all have taken up almost similar paths from your ecosystem of family and business around? Or is
So
that
all three
been,
of us are in business.
yes,
All three of us are very
very
different,
different?
right? Obviously, each individual is.
Yes.
But all three of us are very aligned in where we want our family and our group's vision to, where we want the group to be in the next 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, 10 years. We're aligned in that.
What are the three similarity between you, Varun, and Rahul?
I would like to say it's come down from our family through generations. I would like to believe that all of us in our own way are honest and hardworking.
Okay.
I would like to really sincerely believe that.
Nobody's laid back.
We are honest and hardworking in whatever we do,
In our own way.
right?
Yeah.
And I would say we, in our own ways, also have a great degree of humility. Humility in terms of having the ability to listen and learn, not having the arrogance that we know everything. I think those are the things which are very common and very important traits for people to have.
Was there a burden ever, or was there always, it's a pride to carry the surname you carry? But people think your life is easy. I don't think so now after talking to you. But how would you define a life of a Chaudhary son? Do you because for a common man it's like, oh come on, he's son of Binod Chaudhary. So what else can you talk
No,
about?
it could have been much easier. I mean, you know, my
It could have been much
father, my
easier.
grandfather, they worked so hard. They built a corporate empire. They
Yes.
built a legacy. So if I would have chosen that, hey, my father's working hard, let me continue playing the guitar or creating music, my family would have supported me in that.
Yes. Oh.
But that's the life I've chosen. That's the decision I've chosen. Maybe in that sphere of the decision I'd made, maybe I'd be content with whatever I have. Right? There's no limit to. There's no limit, even if I'm right now part of the generation that's generating wealth. There is no limit or to what level I can be. How much money do I require?
You can't put a number there.
I'm content in what I have, what my lifestyle, my life. I think my life is relatively simple.
Your needs are, you've put a ceiling to your basic needs.
Yes, I've not put any ceiling, but I'm happy with what I have.
You're
Like
happy
the
with what you
simplest
have.
foods, the street food makes me happy. The spending time with family makes me happy.
But
Reading
you
a
can't say anything like how your life can be defined as easy or tough, or
No, it's a life we've chosen.
it's a
If
life you've chosen.
if we've got a vision of, let's say a business we've taken from our father at 10 and we want to make that 100, that's a decision we've made collectively that we're going to work towards making it 100. Now, it could have been 20. We wouldn't probably have to work as hard as we're working now, but because we are determined and focused that we have to make this group 10 times bigger, there is no shortcut.
There is no
We
shortcut.
have to work that way hard. It's a decision consciously we've taken.
So any moment in your journey which was very tough, like whether it was 19 when you started off officially to bring the company up, was there a moment that you had to challenge yourself or prove, or struck with fear, I can't do this, I will do? How was any story that stays with you?
So it's on a daily basis,
Yeah.
but I would say that,
What is the turning point of your life?
the turning point of my life in general was definitely when I met with my guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar,
Okay.
right? But the entire thought process, to answer your earlier question, it's on a daily basis, right? You're every day asking yourself, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Am I going to the wrong path? It's a question you're asking yourself on moment basis. That, or my one decision being the head of my company is going to impact thousands of people.
Yes.
It's going to impact millions of customers. It's going to impact resources that we have managed to accumulate, which we are now reinvesting in businesses which might have impact in other businesses. So it's an ongoing process, and it's good to have that thought process. Otherwise, the minute you get too complacent and too laid back,
Yes.
then
you
you
stop
start
trying.
making some decisions.
What is the
wrong
hardest
decisions.
part of being Binod Chaudhary's son? Honestly, if you say.
The hardest part about being his son is that my father has the ability of putting very high level benchmarking. He's genuinely, I've written a book for him called One in a Billion.
Yes.
I truly believe he is one in a billion. From where he's come, what he's achieved. So he has this knack of meeting someone immediately and
Connecting and assessing.
no. He has a knack of meeting someone immediately and assessing that if this person is going to be part of my company, his output will be 60%.
Wow.
But I will keep his benchmarking, my expectations from him at 80%. So your output is 50.
Yeah.
Now your expectations are from me is 80.
Yeah.
So you'll work so hard and reach from maybe 50 to 65.
That's
I
like
will show
putting
my
the person under pressure.
Yeah, but if you want to achieve and reach those goals and that vision, in our group, it's like that loose nuts and bolts. That train puttry is already moving. So either we all need to tighten ourselves,
Tighten it,
or we'll go flying off
right.
anyways. That's a non-negotiable for us.
So
We're
the
not going to compromise from our vision and our goals. So like that, he sets certain goals for us. So we have to continuously live up to that.
Never felt like disagreeing to his vision or his ideas.
Of course, we have disagreements all the time.
Yeah.
But we also have a rule that it's good to have disagreements,
Yes.
but there's a very simple principle and policy that either you convince me or I convince you.
So, knowing your journey at 19, you start when you started CG Finco, did you feel like at that moment fearless to, yes, I'm ready to take on to it? I mean, I understand how your mindset has been. You've been open to doing things, coming around very positively supported by family, and there's a vision already there. So, as a 19-year-old, how does it work? Because today a 19-year-old works in a very different way.
Right, at that point,
how do you relate to that?
so I actually came back to Kathmandu when I was 19.
Yeah.
After finishing my school, I was for a small stint in Singapore. And this was also the peak of the Maoist insurgency in Nepal, right? So I obviously did not have an office. I was, in our Tata Mobile trucks and vans and just going to different parts of Nepal on our food company, on our electronics company, just getting my hands dirty and understanding the grassroots level.
Proper field work. Yeah.
Right. I was doing that, and I guess I was going on taking one element of a particular vertical that I was part of and trying to quickly grow. Saying, hey, in electronics, we've not done IT businesses. Can I just start IT? Okay, so you do that. And in particular food, we've not launched this. Can I start that? Done that. So doing it, and then you quickly start seeing that, okay, it's making some headway, and you want to climb up the corporate ladder so fast. You go up to your father and say, hey, I've got these tons of ideas. So, and then my father, once while we were coming back from Chitwan Drive, he said, do it. I said, yeah, but I need this much funding, this much. They're like, for what? Let's see you do the business on your own without any investment help.
Yeah.
I
That
said,
was
how
a
can I do
challenge.
that? So he told me that, do you know this, have you heard of John D. Rockefeller? I said, who hasn't heard of John D. Rockefeller? He's one time, steel magnate, one of the richest guys, most successful guys. My father said he wasn't always rich. He came from very humble backgrounds, right? Now, while he was doing that, he had a childhood friend. I can't remember his name, but I think he said David or something like that. And David had a son called James. The names might not be the same, but essence I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So David asks his son the same thing, that son, my health is not too good. You know who John D. Rockefeller is? And son goes, of course, biggest tycoon of the world. He's like, he's my childhood friend. My health is not too good. If in life you have any problems, you can go up and take his help.
Yeah.
And a couple of years later, this John D. Rockefeller's friend passes away, and the son is trying to do many things. He's not successful. He has no choice but to call John D. Rockefeller. Now, you can't just lift up your phone and call John D. Rockefeller.
Yeah.
So he kept persistently calling the Rockefeller Center. One day the reception connected him to the secretary. Kept calling the secretary. One day the secretary told John D. Rockefeller, so this guy claims to be your childhood friend's son. He wants to meet you. He said, of course, James, I heard of his passing. Why don't you ask David to come meet me at the hot dog stand on Central Park at 2 p.m. on Thursday? And the secretary tells him, this guy is like shocked. Like the richest guy in the planet could have sent me a limousine or a plane, taken me to the fanciest restaurant. Why is he calling me to a hot dog stand? Anyway, he goes. And John D. Rockefeller comes with his entire entourage. And first thing he tells this guy is, please buy 2 hot dogs and come. This guy is like, I barely saved $1 to come here. Now this guy is asking me to buy him a hot dog.
Yeah.
So he goes, buys that and comes and starts talking about his problems, etc. And John D. Rockefeller, in Central Park, takes him through, and right next to Central Park is the financial district. Walks him to the financial district, and right under the Rockefeller Center, John D. Rockefeller tells him, okay, son, I wish you all the best in life. Do keep in touch and tell me what's happening. This guy is like,
I'd come to take some help.
help from you, and this is what I get. So John D. Rockefeller tells him, son, do you know who did you buy lunch for today? There are thousands of people queuing up to buy lunch for John D. Rockefeller. When I put my arms around you and I walk through Central Park, on the peak time when people used to come to Central Park, hundreds of people were saying, who's this guy with John D. Rockefeller? When I was walking through the financial district, dozens of bankers started looking out of the window saying, who's this guy with John D. Rockefeller? And me, right under my building, I'm bidding you goodbye. If all this doesn't help you, then God help you. So the entire art of networking, art of leveraging what you have is something I immediately learned from that conversation. So at that point of time, Nepal had almost 90% plus of the money remittance that were coming in was through hundi, illegal channel. And it was very complicated for companies to appoint sub-dealers and all of that. Very complicated process.
It was like a hawala.
Hawala was happening, but even to do it formally, it was a very complicated process. So all I had to do was spend time in central bank, grassroots level till top, try and discuss with them, educate them on what the best practices in the world was happening. And I got my chance, and I got a blanket approval which benefited the entire industry. Then I tied up with Western Union. I convinced Western Union that you had 4 agents who were doing 100 transactions a month. Okay, I'm going to do much bigger than that. And I convinced Western Union that you put in 50%, I'll put in 50%. I went from one end of Nepal to the other, non-stop, uh, going to different YY dealer, this, that, installing softwares. And I convinced them that you put in 50%, I'll put in 50%. So my sub-dealers put in 50, Western Union put in 50.
You approached a collaboration approach back then when the idea of collaboration was not even...
No, sub-dealers were there. But I went on a mass scale because now central bank has given us blanket approval.
Yeah.
And remember, Western Union had 4 agents and 100 transactions. Today, Western Union still has 5 agents, including us. And we do close to 70,000 transactions a month. And today, Nepal, 98% of the money coming in is through legal channels.
Wow. Now we have taken it to 30 countries. How do we see the company when you walk into the global boardroom? And coming from Nepal, how is the challenge now? One, you're in 30 countries. You have to have a global perspective, whether it is with your most selling, now we don't only talk about YY, we talk about CG Global, but it's about the global perspective you have to look at, or you come up with the idea of, only the Nepal backdrop is more strongly pitched when you're approaching CG Global in a global boardroom.
So, the biggest advantage we have today is we're already moving towards a living in a boundaryless kind of a world, right? If you have a right product, for example, take YY as example. Today, YY is exported to more than 40 countries. Now, do we need to change that taste anywhere? No. The product has been well accepted, tried, tested as a leader in Nepal. Similar traits in India, similar traits in the region, similar traits globally. But are we going to, let's say for example, we're in West Bengal. Are we going to launch a fish curry flavored YY? No. But are we going to be launching a pizza flavored YY? Yes. Because people in Bengal are anyway consuming fish, seafood related food. So they want something new. So given the scale and the base of YY, we launch products like that. Similarly in different businesses. If I'm operating in some of the core businesses that I've been given responsibility for, and let's say Rahul, who's looking after hotels, there's an opportunity I see in Serbia, for example, or any other part that I'm growing in. I will take that opportunity and pass it on to him. So there's complementary growth happening because we have a base presence, already products and services from our company. So it becomes easier for rest of the businesses and rest of the group to enter as well. So that's how we grow. But fundamentally, our values, our way of working, everything is the same. It works the same.
What is the most challenging thing now for growing or scaling the company? It's already come to a space where we spoke to your father also. He said it's a continuous process of adapting to new innovation and changes. So what are the immediate adaptations that you think from your end you have identified we have to do? Whether it's technology, AI, understanding the market, the changing taste of the consumers, healthy society. How has that?
In every different field that we operate in, whether it's food or financial services,
IT space, your
any
construction.
space, we are continuously trying to reinvent ourselves and being one step ahead of the competition and making sure that the consumer are moving with us. The day we stop that process or slow down that process, competition is going to overtake us.
So how frequently, because now the scale of the change is increased to multiple folds. Earlier technology would change in 10 years, then 5 years, now it's 2x, 3x, 5x. So how do you think the frequency of change has to come around from you guys?
So again, we're a very diversified group, right? So for FMCG, for example, if you've got let's take example of YY itself. If you're selling YY noodles, right, the taste has remained the same, the packaging has remained the same in the last 20 years, 30 years. So there's not, but we've also come up with 40 different flavors of YY where our R&D is continuously coming up with different flavors, etc. But innovation is happening now on much more sustainable packaging. Our supply chain is much more environmental friendly, where we're meeting the standards of ESG that is set as global norms. Now, as a company, so that the same example goes in different fields, right? Hotel. You opened up a hotel 10 years ago. If you want to compete with your competition, you need to reinvest in the upgradation of the hotel. And it's such a dynamic and evolving industry that one wrong thing that goes in a country, tourism or something happened, it impacts tourism and your hotel so much.
Totally.
So you have to be forward thinking in terms of how you want to redesign your hotels. Then as a fundamental base for your company, like my goal is that I want to be able to make our entire group a AI ready company by 2027, 28.
What does that mean?
That means this is a very good example. Last 1 week ago, we were having a steering committee meeting, and one of the guys asked the same question like you, and one of my IT team leads gave a beautiful answer.
Yeah.
He said, "You remember 10 years ago?" He was telling my colleague, "Remember 10 years ago, people used to enter the office and used to sign in the registry that they've entered the office, and then during the end of the month, they used to get a slip saying this is your salary thing, and then a check."
And yeah, basically
Today,
attendance.
today you walk in through, visual
Face ID.
facial recognition. It goes straight away integrated to your HR software, integrated to your time, integrated to your performance,
automated systems and
automated to the performance of the company, incentives to your salaries, everything automatically goes into your digital bank account, which then gets, you know, further fine-tuned into different instruments you want to use. All that happens through digitization. So that's an example of digitization. Like that, hundreds of different things at manufacturing, at process level, at people level, at culture level of your day-to-day operating system. Earlier, you used to have registry for doing accounts, right? Now you have SAP. So we're using a very sophisticated enterprise software for making sure our efficiency at work is much better maximized. Training people to use that, using that as a platform to grow multiple technological platforms. Tomorrow, what I mean by AI ready company is that the amount of data that we have as a group because of our diversified businesses, from the customer level, from the manufacturing level, from the supply chain level, the amount of data we are able to deploy in our data lake, the information in our funnel, that the technology exists where I can ask, okay, tell me the forecast of YY in this particular locality, and what is my competition doing, what are my customers saying.
Everything, all the information comes around.
We're leveraging the AI capabilities that already exists and is evolving to further take our business to the next level. Now, we can't be doing that when 2 years later. So we need to start preparing it now.
So what is the key now? If you're late, you miss even the innovation is of no use. The timing plays a very important role in the
Timing is key for everything. Sometimes when you do things too early also, you're like, what's going on?
You lose the plot.
So you have to, that's where I guess, having the right experts with you, the right professionals with you, who understand the environment, the ecosystem, who understand your company. Like today, if I want to suddenly put up a sales force, highly sophisticated sales, app on the mobile phones of all my sales team, it's not viable, it's not practical. But do I want to eventually get there? Yes.
I think when and how you do it matters a lot. You have spoken beautifully to me about how you guys, what is one of the success of CG Global is also the way the planning has been designed. I saw the map in which you had 200 companies, all planned well and designed. So you still believe in that planning part, and are you good at it when it comes to planning your company, your day, everything?
I think the difference between a good leader and a bad leader is the detailing of the plan he does, the delegation by putting the right person at the right place. When you know that this is where you want to be, this is the goal you want to achieve, you have to have that humility that and also put your ego down that if someone else can get you there faster than you can, you must pave the way for them.
Okay.
But that's what a good leader does. Good leader puts everyone together, shows them the right vision, puts the right person in the right place to help you achieve that together.
Nirvan, you're in a stage and space of the entrepreneur world now. In 2026, we are sitting. There's so many tycoons. There's so many conglomerate head and young leaders. You're called one of the youngest leader. You've been representing on multiple global platforms, the associations and organizations where you're the leader speaking. How insecure or secure do you feel there? Being the younger one, competing or talking to voices on different aspects who are 20 years older to you. Have you ever been in that space? You were MD before 30. So they're voicing yourself when they're experienced voices, as you said, you were in World Economic Forum, you've been there. You've been the selected batch, representing after the failures of nominated several times and getting there. So how does it become for a young leader? This tag of you're a young leader. Is it baggage? Is it easy? You still compete in that space because the space is flooded now. There's so many heads in the world who are now called the young influencers, leaders.
uh, I have never or will never, or even I don't ever get complexed or have a fear or get overwhelmed in any type of a scenario, right?
With anyone.
With anyone. I get motivated by people who I have recognized are far more successful or far more learned or far more knowledgeable by me. I get overwhelmed
Even
with
if
that.
they're your age and done better than you.
Of course, of course, of course. Uh, what is age? Age has nothing to do with that. It's the knowledge you have to respect the people's success or where they've been, the knowledge that they gather, and have that that open mindedness to learn from them. I have always been super excited, which is the opposite end of what you had asked. When I get into a room of 30 young entrepreneurs, I get super excited because to me that's a platform to learn things, to meet new people, to hear their experiences, to see what's taken them to go and learn from them. That is why I started a podcast.
Yes.
Called my father wrote a book called Making It Big.
Yes.
And to answer your question, the reason I came up with started a podcast called Making It Bigger is people my age, my generation, younger, slightly older, who have done incredible work, who have been relatively successful, probably more successful than I have. I'm trying to learn or let at least people what I have learned try and help other listeners also feel the same way what I do. So what I'm telling you is just not in essence what I am saying. It's in essence the practice, right? Because I've learned so much. I was like, my God, I've learned XYZ from this person. I want thousands of people to learn. How? Through podcast.
So beautiful way to use podcast. It connects me to Nikhil Kamath part. I have to tell you, I used to believe when we do this 10-minute podcast, we used to feel like, what are we doing? I saw Nikhil Kamath do these long podcasts, and then I get to know he's your friend. And you have somewhere been the first one to interview him. So he's never said that he was also podcast.
I don't know the first one, but I did get a chance to get him on that podcast. And Nikhil's again, a self-made guy, visionary. Him and his brother have done, like, they've disrupted a particular industry.
They were also highlighted as the youngest billionaire in India, and the achievers. These tags had got around them.
Yeah, but you see, the minute you start getting overwhelmed with these tags, I think you start compromising on a lot of your goals. So I'm sure, I know Nikhil, these tags don't mean anything to him.
Yeah,
they're fine. He takes it as a sign of people.
But now I know how I relate when his podcast came out. It was more like he wanted to learn. And now I see the source because
it's not the source for sure.
But it had started long back.
I guess
you and him, the kind of banter, I don't know what you might have had with him. I have to open your podcast and see. But the idea somewhere comes around that talking. What about doing the other things? What is the key to balance your life and family life? You're a very, very loving father and a storyteller.
Storyteller. I've written 2 books, if that's what you mean. I love spending time with my kids. I learn so much from them. I was hugging my son last night and telling him, please don't grow up. It's a trap. There's so much to learn from the innocence.
Did he ask you why is it a trap?
I actually asked him, do you know what a trap means? And he gave me such a beautiful answer. But anyways, I think, I always give this particular example of a jar. Everyone's individually, if you need to define or you need to prioritize on your own what the most important things in life are. For example, let's say my own health, for me. I take that as a stone and I put it right at the bottom. Spending time with my family or my family's well-being there. My group's growth. my XYZ priorities in life, holidaying or XYZ goals that I have. So I need to know where I put that in that jar. The bottom one are the most important ones, right?
Okay.
Then you take a bottle of sand and put it on top of the jar, and the sand will go and settle. So as long as you've identified what those stones are, you're set. So I think it'll shift, it'll change over a period of time, but you need to recalibrate your lifestyle and your life accordingly. And I think today I'm pretty content. There's more I can do, but I'm pretty content with or at least working on trying to fulfill those personal goals that I have, or having a much better uh, balanced approach. I don't like the word work-life balance. I don't think it's not relevant to our part of in our lives.
It's a very dynamic world now, so I don't know how the balance works. Your father is very smart. When I told him that if you don't give time to your family, what do you do? He's like, give more time the next time. I choose my priority. If my wife, I don't have time today, next time I double benefit her. But yes, you have to find that balance in different ways,
Right,
is
right.
what he believed. But coming to almost closing, there's so much Nirvana. I can't wind it up in a short podcast like you used to do 10 minutes, because exploring through you is exploring through creativity. You have two sides to you. One is your professional life, one is what you have taken from your father, and one that creative aspect of what makes you so friendly and so connected to everyone. There's hardly any name in India who is not your friend. So you have friends in the film world, you have friends in entrepreneur world, and so I'm sure in Nepal, and so I'm sure in global space, because as you told me some incidents in World Economic Forum, you're pretty much there to connect. So what makes you such a connecting soul, and what is the feedback?
So I'm not in World Economic Forum to connect. I go in any conversations or any forums or even events like Davos or World Economic Forum with a very open mind to learn, with an open mind to meet with people who I've looked up to, with an open mind to meet people who've done extraordinary work in their space, and to learn from them. So I go in with that mindset, right? And I don't think I ever go into any conversations or anything wanting something from anyone.
And why people befriend you so fast? How I've
I
hardly
guess when
seen
you are
entrepreneurs of young, met so many interviewed,
right,
but getting so friendly in this generation where everybody tries to keep more space to themselves.
I guess everyone's different in that way,
Yes, how
right?
are you so different? What is the key?
I guess that's the way I am as a human
Yeah.
being, as an individual. That's how my upbringing has been. We've been taught to respect people. We've been taught to, um, you know, honor people's success. We've been taught to, uh, help people wherever we can. We've been taught to respect and um, look up to people who've done extraordinary work. So when you have those fundamental values in you, then you're getting into any
It's missing
conversations.
in most of the people.
I don't know, at least
Which
the
is the
people
biggest compliment you've ever got till now from someone you looked up besides your father?
I
You just, I mean, not to be overwhelmed with it, but you just felt like, wow.
I guess what makes us is the people we are blessed with, who are surrounding in our lives, right? I think one of the biggest assets, one of the biggest joys I have in my life are the people I'm growing up with, the friends that I have.
But any compliment or any thought that someone shared about you out
I
of gratitude
don't,
and you hold on?
I don't, I can't recall. I
That means
can't
you don't hold
recall.
on to the praises and appreciation.
Uh, yeah, I close friends to me always uh, sort of smile when I'm doing something right, but they'll be my first big critic, and because they have the right to do that. They have the right to do that, and they want to see me do better. So I remember that
Yes.
a lot more than any compliment.
And lastly, before we have to wind up before rapid fire, is about Nepal. Now we've seen how where it's come from, a land of instability. You've seen the insurgency space and everything. Growing up here doing business, uh, it is. Do you think it will go stabilized now? And as a businessman here, who is stable in an unstable land? Politics has played differently. We saw how you guys yourself suffered but supported the Gen Zs also in their thought process in a way. How do you take it to the world? Because you might be judged now, you are certainly being. But being a businessman, of course, you can override that to a certain extent.
So being a businessman, we are doing our role.
Yeah.
We are playing our part of
Yeah.
it. I think the instability comes more at the political level. Right?
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, all the different gods were making different countries, right?
Yeah.
The main god said that I'm going to make Nepal, and he said, I'm going to put the most majestic mountains in this country.
Yeah, the most.
I'll have all the water come flow from here to even India.
Yeah.
Make it one of the world's largest potential hydropower countries. I'll cover it up with 60-70% with forests so you can have biodiversity and herbs.
And
I will make Buddha be born here. I will make this country right between the two superpowers of the tomorrow, right? And all the other gods said, boss, hold on, if you're going to give everything to Nepal, what will you give to the other countries? And he said, don't worry, I'll create such a complicated political structure in Nepal that things won't function at all, right?
oh God.
So we have everything. We are blessed in our country. We are hopeful that with this new transition and the elections that we are seeing, we hope leadership will emerge who really puts economy in the center stage.
If anyone has to doubt Nepal, how do you build the trust back as a business leading
I don't
business
think we can
house?
do that by just talking and all of that. I think we have to demonstrate. The taste of the pudding lies in eating it. We have to be patient. We have to all work hard, demonstrate. We have to realize that there are enough investors within our own country who can transform this country. We have to believe in them. We have to give them the right environment, and
There are more
the
billionaires.
smart investors or smart
Yeah.
foreign direct investment don't need to be told where to come. They will figure out and sniff and come when the timing is
This
right.
is something I think India also needs to know. FDI
India, I
doesn't
think,
need to be told, as you're saying, beautifully said.
India, I think the biggest advantage India has is the market, right? So everyone is coming to India because India has got the market. Now, India policies are working in a way where they're creating an environment where you cater to that growing market, but you do it by putting up a manufacturing process or
Yes.
your particular core competency in India. So it's not only does that, but also you're able to
Make in India's there.
yeah. So India is doing that pretty smartly, I think, and the whole world wants to be there. There's stability in India to a large extent. It's a growing market. We learn a lot from India.
Yeah. And YY found its way through India a big way. I mean, despite having other noodles there, I think we were very fond of YY, especially in the northeastern belt. It picked up its
Right,
market very
right.
strongly. One word to each of the thought I have now,
Sure.
because there's so much,
Sure.
and I wish I can make you do this storytelling podcast you've done for your child.
Right.
I happen to get into it. I'm gonna steal that. It's one of the most beautiful thing. But Made in Nepal, your thoughts to the words that I come across. What is your first thought to Made in Nepal? The book.
The book Made in Nepal, my father's story.
Yeah. The elections coming around.
Hopeful.
Binod Chaudhary as a parliamentarian, Binod Chaudhary as a business tycoon or a billionaire.
Binod Chaudhary as a parliamentarian, future statesman of this country. Binod Chaudhary
as a business tycoon or the
visionary.
Nirvana Chaudhary as the son to Binod Chaudhary as the MD of CG Global.
As a son, trying to live up to his father's expectation. As an MD of Chaudhary Group, trying to take his vision to the next level.
CG Global as the company in the world map. How do you place that?
Small company from a small country with big dreams.
You still say that. Why? What it means to you?
A brand that has given our group and our family visibility in a global platform.
Three things I think this generation is where, because your kids are there. 3 things for 3 generations you think should stay, or you have seen, like the millennials, the Gen Zs, and the boomers. What is that you have a thought for?
It can be the next 3 or the past 3 or the next 30.
You choose.
I think what I'm about to say will be relevant to all of them. Is the humility, the ability to keep learning, having that thirst of learning, ability for following your passion, ability for or having that sense of responsibility for making a difference in the society or the community you live in, making a difference in the world that you live in through your corporate social responsibility or your own individual philanthropic values.
And with the world of entrepreneur changing, AI coming in, is there any rule that you think now, like they say that you've got kids, so people have to wisely use AI and technology ahead? Is there something that you've learned that even though AI and technology have taken over, we have to be consciously approaching?
AI and technology has not taken over, according to me. I think it's going to go complementary. We need to start understanding and using it to our best use. We should not be dependent on it. We should know exactly how it will help us to increasing our own productivity. So for doing that, we need to start understanding what exists over there, how the technology is changing lives.
And one guru story. You're so close to Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. So one thought or one wisdom that you borrow from him, or maybe you've shared a moment of wisdom with him.
I can probably write a book on your question, but a thing that comes to my mind right now is, when the mind is still, the universe will surrender. Is something which is something which is.
This is something you take. I would love you to read the storytelling. I can't do that now, so I'll steal that portion of your
Please.
story podcast, the child podcast that you've done with your daughter.
Sure.
It was a clear privilege to know little more of you. The intent was to know more of Nirvana than just the CG Global and your journey of how you guys have made it so big. So thank you so much for coming around.
Thank you so much for
and
taking
also
time out.
patiently going through all the process of telling and sharing. And all
It's
the
a
best.
pleasure.
And we hope to sometime meet you in Davos and have little more different kind of conversation. Have Wi-Fi there. So that'll be
Absolutely.
fun to have Wi-Fi sitting in that cold weather. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.